Alan, let's talk about Moon Knight, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay, so a couple things. We're talking about Moon Knight now, so we pivoted the conversation. And here we go. I have only seen the first episode, as you all have. Alan has seen the first 4 episodes.
Yes.
And if you could, I want to have Alan take the lead on this and tell us about Moon Knight.
I've been hearing what people have been saying, so I think we should start with what you think of the first episode, and then I can tell you, I can expand on it.
So here, the first episode I think was a waste of time, and because it really just gets to getting you in the mindset. It would have been great if this was the first 30 minutes of a movie. They could have cut down that 45 minutes into 30 minutes, and it's like the first 30 minutes of a movie is a guy that's like waking up and like, what just happened? He doesn't understand because we're seeing the whole story from his point of view. With Oscar Isaac, I'm not sure about his accent. I'm not sure about
we'll talk about that.
I'm not sure about his accent just yet, but here we go. So and then you just get to Moon Knight at the very end of the episode. This is not like we've, first of all, we are going to talk spoilers. Okay. We're going to talk
the first episode.
Of the first episode, yes. But I feel like the first episode just gets you to a reveal of Moon Knight. I don't know who Oscar Isaac's character is. He's given multiple names in the movie. He goes by multiple names. We're introduced to Ethan Hawke, who plays the main baddie, so to speak. And we don't know what his motivation is necessarily, except he wants this gold scarab that Oscar Isaac's character has. And I say Oscar Isaac's character because they call him by several different
names. So the character, the Cockney character is Stephen Grant. That's his name.
Stephen Grant, but he's called by other names, right?
Yes, and we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Okay, so I'm confused. So the first episode left me confused, and I don't know that I care that much because I'm a Batman fan, and this is basically white Batman. And I mean, seriously, he sort of feels like Batman, but like it's also a sort of Jekyll and Hyde thing where it's like when he becomes Moon Knight, he has no memory of when he's Moon Knight. So who is this story? Who are we following? Are we following and Moon Knight is just like, it's one of those things like it's dark. It's just dark. I thought that the Moon Knight reveal, he looked just a little too digital, at least the cape.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I was very, to be honest, I'm being completely honest, I was very meh on this first episode.
Yes.
Now, I feel like, without giving away too many spoilers, you've seen the first 4 episodes. I'm not even sure if I want to continue.
Okay,
Alan,
so
let's hear your thoughts on the first. I want to hear what you think of the first episode.
Okay, I would agree with you. I mean, let's be real. I actually own a few Moon Knight comic books, but I don't really understand the Moon Knight comic books, and I think hardcore fans understand Moon Knight. I'm not one of those, and I think a lot of the audience won't understand that. And so, saying that, I can understand the disappointment of that first episode because it really just sets up Stephen Grant as this kind of nebbish, museum souvenir clerk who knows more about what goes on in that museum or what's in that museum than the average person. And he experiences blackouts. And I think they've led on before that there's a theme of mental health that goes on throughout Moon Knight, and you're kind of seeing that. And then you get Moon Knight at the, that little battle at the end of Moon Knight. It's a TV series. And I think there's an expectation there that you're going to watch that first episode and automatically be interested in the second one. And so I don't think they didn't really put anything into that first episode that says you have to see that second episode, which is quite frankly, if you're in Hollywood and you are writing a TV series, you can't do that with your pilot episode. You've got to grab people in and say, hey, this is the reason to see it. So that's my feeling about the first episode. I don't think it does the series service. I will say it does get better. It does get better.
I will say, a blah blah says he's an avatar for an Egyptian god.
Yes, that's correct.
So there you go.
And in the comic book, it's Khonshu, the moon god, and that's who's the avatar for. So Yeah, and so what happens in the second episode, and I'm not going to spoil much. That's when the other voice he hears two voices.
Right.
I'll spoil it. It's Conchu and it's Mark Spector, his other personality, and that falls in line with the comic book. Mark Spector is different. Oh, I guess he's not that. No, yeah, he is a Marine. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, but he is a Marine, a CIA operative. So they kind of have that story down. And in the second episode, you'll see this conflict between Stephen and Mark, and it's an interesting one when it comes to dissociative disorder. I will say they're saying that this is a mental health. This show is about mental health. Well, in the first 4 episodes, it's not. I think they're saying it as a virtue signal because it's not really about mental health. I will say there's a cliffhanger at the 4th episode, and it turns things on its head, and it kind of goes in that direction.
Okay, so let's get into it a little bit. Does it pick up? You've seen 4 episodes, basically means you've seen most of the series.
Yes, I've seen 6 episodes. 6 episodes.
Okay, so it's only a 6-episode series. So I have a choice tonight. Do I watch the next 3 episodes of Moon Knight, or do I watch what Sri Harsha says? Watch Bahubali. It is on Netflix. It's the same person who directed RRR. I think I'm going to watch that on Netflix.
Well, I will say
on Netflix because I just like Moon Knight. It didn't grab me enough to go, and I feel like here's
and it's a shame. It's a shame they did not handle that first episode right, because it picks up. The story gets a lot more interesting, and they get in pretty quickly into the world of the avatars, the Egyptian gods, and what Ethan Hawke's character really is.
All right. Well, look, we're going to get to your comments in the chat about Moon Knight, but that first episode, which is approximately 46 minutes, the first episode, and Romain probably has the best comment here. Binge watch it.
Absolutely.
Wait till all the episodes are out. But this is the problem: is are these Disney Plus series? Are they movies or are they stretched out series? Are they series where why is this so freaking long? It's how a lot of series would be where they just an episode that's an unnecessary episode, but it's they'll do a whole episode about a side character. I've been so disappointed with the Disney Plus series. I didn't watch Hawkeye. I watched the beginning of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't watch the finale of WandaVision. So I have literally checked out of all these series.
Yeah.
And then, I've also, and I don't want to get into a political discussion, but I've been sort of down on just anything Disney because I don't trust them anymore.
Yeah. I will say so far into the 4th episode, there's nothing woke about it.
Okay. And not not being stuff not being woke is a requirement.
Right.
There's
it's not what we've been complaining about Disney lately. And there is violence, but it's nowhere near the violence that the Netflix series, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, it's not that violent at all.
Yeah, and
there's action. There's a lot of action.
Do we need a 6 episodes, or could we have done a better, where you condense everything and it's a Moon Knight movie?
Yeah.
But I just feel like movies are so expensive to release that maybe that's just not an option, right? Is that the case?
Well, the other thing is, the reason I think these characters are getting a TV series is because, you need to get to know Moon Knight. You need to get to know Kate Bishop. You need to get to know Ms. Marvel. And the only way, and you can't do it in a 2 to 3 hour movie. You've got to stretch out that story a bit. But again, you got to then go back to television 101 and really understand how to carry your audience from episode to episode, how to grab them in that first episode and then force them to see the second episode. And that's, the cliffhanger at the end of the first episode of Moon Knight is not a cliffhanger at all. It's just an introduction of Moon Knight.
It's a reveal. And so, and I don't know what his powers are. I don't know how it works other than there's some element of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Why is he a human male, Oscar Isaac? Why is with his powers? What?
And again, that's episodes 2 through 4. You know,
Okay,
you'll
so
you'll,
it
you'll
does
answer.
explain it.
He will answer those questions. Absolutely, and
All
they'll
right,
be
so
answered. And this, you know, the Ethan Hawke character, I liken him to Killmonger and Thanos in the sense of, you know, it's a villain with a really good idea, but with the wrong way to execute it.
and I'm going to ask you a favor, Alan. I
Mhm.
am going to take a break
Okay.
very quickly to take care of some business.
Yes.
I'll be very quick.
Okay.
And why don't you go to the chat?
Yeah, we'll go to the
Uh,
chat on this one.
Here's a little cartoon image of me if I were a Funko Pop.
All right. Um. Yeah. Okay. So let's. I'm not sure how far going back. I'll answer this one. If Netflix did Moon Knight, it would have been much better. It would definitely be a lot darker and a lot more violent. And I think if anything, I think Moon Knight would have been perfect under the Jeff Loeb Netflix model, as opposed to the current Kevin Feige Disney Plus model. Romaine says Moon Knight is not like WandaVision or Loki. You can binge watch it. Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely benefited from the fact that I got to watch each episode consecutively all at once, because you're waiting a week between, and I think you know, it's really easy to lose interest, and I think people are losing interest after that first episode. They just did not structure the first episode correctly. And so maybe you do want to wait 6 weeks and then finally get the whole thing. I will say, though, Moon Knight to me is probably of the Disney Plus films, or the Disney Plus series, it's the second best one behind WandaVision. And that's not saying much. All right. So hope you understand what I mean by that. Legion deals with some, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Legion. I've not watched Legion, but I hear a lot of good things about it. And I just got to know or realize who some of the directors and writers of that is. And then, yeah, I think I do want to see Legion at some point. They feel like stretch out movies. Absolutely. You know, because the most of the world doesn't know who Moon Knight really is, you know, you're not going to do his story justice, or it's just going to feel like an origin episode if you just have a 2 to 3 hour movie for that. And so this allows the origin to take place and tell a little bit bigger story. But at the same time, I think that was the detriment of the Marvel films on Netflix. There were too many episodes. They took too long and they moved as slow as hell. You know, but I will say Jessica Jones season 2 is my favorite of the Netflix movies. Or season 1. Okay. Let's see. D plus. Okay, I think that's something else.
Do you want me to read it? Because
I feel like that's part of a different conversation.
Okay, all right, okay, cool.
Yeah, I think that's about your favorite.
Well, okay, blah blah says Disney Plus has become a place to expose lesser characters instead of doing trilogies, as these characters won't get the same draw as the Phase 1 and 2 ones did. Yeah. I agree with you, blah blah. That's true. Like,
I don't think you're going to go see a Moon Knight movie.
Yeah, I feel like Moon Knight would not necessarily like get people to the movies, or it would end up being like a lower budget. But yeah, Fletcher Williams says New Marvel has been so disappointing. I agree. I don't know why they just didn't recast. There was a rumor. I knew about a rumor that they were going to recast the main Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, and Thor were going to be recast, because what was one of the ideas that was toyed with and also is prophesized, or you see these sort of future visions, all of the Avengers die. So what I heard, I heard from an inside source that what was going to happen is that all the Avengers die in Infinity War or at some point in Endgame, and then there was going to be some, like, basically they made the ultimate sacrifice. All the Avengers die, but they defeat Thanos, and then Captain Marvel goes back in time and plucks the Avengers from the younger versions of different Avengers and brings them back to the present to sort of like defeat Thanos or clean up whatever it was. Mm-hmm. It was going to be like this loop, and then there would be different actors recast as Thor, Captain America, the Hulk, and Iron Man. Look, other people have talked about that. It's not, Yeah, I know. Look, they ended up not doing it, but this was one of the ideas that was on, and it would have reset the Marvel universe. So you could have done like more Thor movies, more Captain America movies, more Iron Man movies, because I really believe that Marvel's on the decline, and they're going to lean for their movies. They're just going to lean into weirdness and wokeness, and I don't think that's going to fly with audiences. I think Doctor Strange, we'll see, but the thing that's has me excited about Doctor Strange for the most part is Sam Raimi. But does Marvel let directors do what they want? I don't know. There have been issues in the same way that there have been issues with Kathleen Kennedy. When you look at what Ant-Man was supposed to be, right? The Edgar Wright version of Ant-Man. So I don't know. Ryan Landis asks, Alan, is Moon Knight at least actually about Moon Knight?
I think he's going to get the Marvel treatment. I think the themes are there, but it's not going to be, right already. Stephen Grant's a billionaire businessman. Here he's he's a lowly, museum shopkeeper.
Right. Well, I think what Ryan Landis is saying, is it about Moon Knight or about like the person who helps? Yeah, it is
all about Moon Knight.
It's about Moon Knight. Yeah. So it's not going to get that, but I think it has to be if that's what the show is.
Yeah, it's not going to be a split story. In fact, there's a female character that you see in the clips. She's there. She's not the partner, so to speak.
Blah blah says Feige had 3 failed movies in a row. Most of Hollywood, that would have been 3 strikes. You're out. But Feige has special treatment for whatever reason. Romaine says, Alan, can you confirm or deny Blade and Kit Harington's Black Knight character cameos in the series finale? Confirm or deny?
Do you want me to?
Well, wait. Okay.
I mean, is that too spoilery? Or
no? To be no, that's fine. It's a fair question. So, but if anyone doesn't want to hear the answers to these questions, feel free to leave.
Yeah, I can answer it in less than 5 seconds.
Oh my God, no one's watching. No, wait. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, but wait, no, for her question. So are there cameos in these and to be clear, just to tell everybody, Alan has seen the first 4 episodes, so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But
so,
yeah.
So, I mean, I'll just say it because they'll if Kingpin didn't show up until the last episode. But no, there are no cameos so far.
There are no cameos in the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, no. I would say there's not even real references to the MCU throughout the first 4 episodes. I might be wrong. I might have missed it, but I don't remember anything referring to the MCU and the stories told so far.
Chuck Brewer says, so Marvel needs to do like Coke and return with classic Marvel. Sigh. Well, look, I think there's a reason that certain characters have endured. There's a reason why Iron Man was created in the 60s, still exists today, 60 years later. Why the Fantastic Four were created in what, 1961? November? Is that what's on the cover of the issue? No, was created in 1961 and still exists today. Why are characters that were created more than 5 decades ago, why do they still endure? What do I mean by endure? People still want to know what's happening with these characters. They get reinvented and rebooted, which is fine. That happens. Why does their merch still sell? But, are people, are characters like Moon Knight, or America Chavez or Ms. Marvel, are they as popular? Are they as enduring? I think time will tell. I think time will tell. But we're not going to know for 30 years. Are we still going to be talking about Ms. Marvel and what it looks like? And we talked about this because we did a video on it. But they changed her powers, and it doesn't seem like that's going to work.
Also, if you think about it, phase 1 and 2 of the MCU, they were all based on previous storylines in the comic books.
They all had
they got the theming behind it. They got the spirit behind those stories. And I think that's what helped tell those stories so well. Civil War, Falcon Winter Soldier, I should say.
Yeah. Blah, blah says Jon Favreau was a larger part of the phase 1 through 3 success than he got credit for. He was the architect. He and James Gunn, actually. are from my understanding, they're the ones that sort of laid out the pathway to Thanos and Infinity War and Endgame. So, and experts agree, says, hey, don't group Moon Knight with America Chavez. Fair point. I get it. I'm just saying that, like, yeah, I think Moon Knight has been around since the 70s, if I'm correct.
75.
75, yeah. So Moon Knight's been around a lot longer. But what I'm saying is that that there are characters that have endured. There are newer characters, and I'm not sure if they're going to be as popular. Campbell says Western comics are dead, and I'm sorry to agree. I can't remember the last time I went into a comic book store to just buy a comic book. Normally what I do is I go to a convention like WonderCon or San Diego Comic-Con, and I go and I buy collections. I buy graphic novels. So it's like, here's the 12 issues or whatever it is. And I buy runs of stories that I can just read I'm not so much a collector as I am a reader when I get to the graphic novels like that. So,
yeah, I was collecting comic books up until Brian Michael Bendis's Age of Ultron. And after that, it just fell apart for me. The entire, when they collapsed the entire Marvel universe with Secret Wars 2, it was like, I haven't bought a comic book since then.
Yeah. Shelby AC says, I think it's the producer's business model. Even if the fans hate it, a failure makes enough to keep execs bouncing around from project to project. So yeah. True.
Yeah, but that can only last you so long. I mean, still got to get viewers, and you can't be driving away your viewers. The luxury that Marvel has is that with each movie, there is already a built-in audience who is going to see it that first night, and you're destroying that momentum right now. Movies,